Hi, welcome to the Craft Academy. I'm Noreen craft demonstrator with Katy Sue Designs. I just want to show you how easy it is to make some wonderful three-dimensional flowers to just give a lovely addition to any of your card or scrapbooking. How would we do that? Flower soft wires, they're paper coated, and then you would just cut these wires down with an old pair of scissors, not your best craft scissors, old pair of scissors, and cut them down into a couple of inch lengths. Okay then, so it comes to the flower soft glue, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the glue on from probably about an inch from the top. So just apply a steady, even flow of glue. And you can see the quality of this glue is such that it isn't going to drip or run anyway. So that's all you need. What you then need is your wonderful flower soft. So this is the flower soft, beautiful sprinkles that we're then going to add to the glue. One of the things that we don't do is to dip that wire in. Very naughty. We do this. We're literally just throwing the flower soft at the wet glue. So I'm busy just turning that around to make sure that we've got all of that lovely delphinium blue in this case covering that glue. So you tap off the excess and that is your flower already made. What you then need to do is to stand your wire into a piece of foam. Why I'm doing that is because it's going to dry very nicely on there. These can be made well in advance of any project that you might be doing. So you can see that these are dried ones, they've made days previously, but importantly, that isn't going to come off. And even more importantly, with the addition of the flower soft glue, that is just going to bend over, and you can adjust that and put that into any design that you want. What I've also done is, because they're paper coated wires, I've used some distress ink and I've just coloured those down and then wrapped around the end of a paintbrush. So to assemble it, what I've got here is I've already made the card, and we're going to do an easy little easel card. I've already glued down one of the vases. So you would just glue around the outside edges of your vase and then place it down onto your project. So obviously that needs a minute or two to settle, so I've done exactly that. I could have pre-coloured that in, but what I was going to do is just add a few little dabs of colour onto the background. So we made just, well, tiny little dabs of glue, not very much, tiny little dabs of glue onto there, and then I'm going to use this fabulous meadow mix, sprinkled over the top, tap off the excess, and then you can see that we've got some colour, depth and dimension created very simply and very quickly on the top. What I would then do is, you can see that we've got this opening for the vase here. So I'm just going to put a row of glue across the top of that vase. This is much easier than actually having to apply glue to every stem that you're doing. So it's just simply a question of gluing, putting the stems in to that glued area so that you can see that every stem that I put in there is going to come into contact with that glue. Don't worry that you can still see the glue, because that's going to dry clear. But the beauty of having all of those stems ready made for weeks and months on end is that you can, when you've got the time, create all of those wonderful flowers, and then when you need a card in a hurry, you've got them already there. So sometimes I would use 3, sometimes I would use 5, always odd numbers. So I think 5 in there is more than enough. And then I would just bring in a couple of those little twisted stems. Again, that's just going to give a little bit more dimension, a little bit more addition to your card. It's just going to give it an extra. So again, I'm just going to use 3 of those. Very simply made. Lovely little accessory that enhances all of those wonderful flowers that you've made. So to put it onto the back of your card, I'm just going to use some of the Flower Soft glue. And I've already just matte and layered that card up. I've inked the edges. Place that onto the front there. And again, you can see you've got your little stopper there. And that is a Flower Soft card using the wires. One of the other things I would say is though, don't just think flowers. You may be thinking animals, you may be thinking texture, landscape, on your trees, double-sided tape for all of your scrapbooking events. So I hope you've enjoyed this little demonstration and I look forward to seeing you again soon.